What's up, Wargamers? Welcome back to World of Wargaming. I'm Isaiah, and today we're digging into our first game of the full version of Perilous Tales by Mike Hutchison. Available from Planet Smasher Games. Before we do that, consider smashing the buttons, leaving a comment, or checking out the links in the description, because all of that helps push the channel and these wonderful indie games out to more people. So, all that being said, let's get down to it. The game starts, or the turn starts rather, game and turn, in the hero phase, which is where all of the girls plus Joe are going to do their things. Everybody has 2 action points. Each action point converts to an action. Some cost 1, some cost 2. Our leader, Sophia, has 3. So we're going to move her up. That's a walk. That's 1 action point. One of my objectives is just to destroy the idol, which pulls one of the threat markers to it. It is the one in the middle was the one that I rolled. The idol is just behind that last tree at the end of the driveway. So it's touching it. It will always count as unrevealed for villain purposes. And then I think I want to call over Blanche. Leader only action, it allows them to take a walk or escape from combat action. And then with my last one, I'm going to give Blanche a pep talk, which will give her advantage on her next skill check. She is then going to try to spot hidden on the threat marker in the middle that's touching the idol. I had a 7 and a 1. I think I forgot to record the roll. I got the buttons mixed up. But the 7 goes away, which leaves a 1, which I think is something special. No, nothing special on that. Just everything's going to succeed because there's no minimum difficulty on it. So we get to peek at that one. It's a 2, which is a thrall, one of the minions. The rest of the gang is just going to move up the path a bit. Nothing too crazy here. A 7. So the 10 was a success, which is a crit, which makes another success. So right now, almost all the threat markers are going to move. Some of them are going to be moving towards me by 1 inch. Nothing is currently revealed, so it comes back to me. We're going to start with Sophia, who's going to give Blanche a pep talk and do nothing else. Blanche is going to attempt to spot that threat coming around the side over there, with advantage because of her pep talk. So we'll take that 2 as our difficulty, which gives us 2 successes, which means we get to peek. It is a 3, which is another thrall. And we'll go to the threat. Threat level is now 2 because of the threatening overture. So skill 2. That's a difficulty 9 threat check. So that's 0 successes, which means we only have the threatening overture. So the level goes up by 1. Threat markers don't move. There's no enemies. So we come back to me. And now I need to start getting busy. So we're going to have Sophia pump up Blanche one more time. We're going to take a look at one of these markers over here to the right. We get advantage, so we keep the 4. So we get 1 success, which is enough to spot it. Peeking at the closer of the 2, which was a 4, which is a bat swarm. And at that point, I'm going to have Dorothy move up and trigger this thrall that's by the idol. So he pops out in ambush within 1 inch of me, the revealer, and as close to the marker as possible. Then the hero phase ends. We do a threat check. Threat level is 3 now, so skill 3. And on a 1, that is 3 successes. First step there is that we make a horror check for everybody to see if they walk away. So starting with Sophia, who's skill 4. She's good. Joe, who is skill 2. He's good. Don't even need the other dice. Dorothy, who is good. Rose, who is good, and Blanche, who is good. Everybody stands fast. Then the noose will tighten. And then the threatening dun 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 overture will play, and our threat level will go up to 4. Our ghoul will then take a swing at Dorothy. He's skill 5 with a minimum difficulty of my skill, which is 2. Okay, difficulty 9 helps me out there some. I am going to take 2, but that could have been much, much, much worse. Gonna start with Dorothy, who is going to focus and then try to escape from combat. I do not. I'm gonna use my last ditch here to re-roll because I need to get away from this hussy here. Minimum 5. Got a 9, so we can walk away. Back and then try to crack shot him between the eyes. In his default +1 skill, I get an additional +1 for my crack shot. It is a minimum difficulty of 5. So minimum difficulty 5. So we're going to get 1, 2, and a crit. The crit counts as an extra success. So 4 damage onto that thrall. So he takes 4 and moves an inch towards me as his reaction because I hit him. We'll have Blanche focus and take a shot at the thrall. So minimum 5, that'll be 1 damage. And he will come at me. Go with Sophia, who's going to call Rose over, focus, and then go in on this dude. So in hand-to-hand, there is a minimum difficulty of the target's skill, which is 5. I have +3 to this because I'm a brute, putting me to 7, and I have advantage because I focused before charging in with my frying pan. I don't know what that was. Okay. So we're going to keep the 4, which goes to a 5. I'm a professional, so I can re-roll the 1. Which turns him into a squishy pile of goo. We'll focus and attempt to spot the other objective on the right that I haven't seen yet. Actually, no, she's going to spot the one that's up the middle. Which we do. And that is our master. Rose will use her 2 actions, now that she got called over here, to use some first aid on Dorothy. Which we succeed at. So that is the 2 health Dorothy lost, she gets back. So, real quick, I did have a problem in my party setup. Even though I know that I mentioned when I did it that you can't have characters with the same starting classes, I still ended up with that. And since I had Rose and Joe as medics, and since Rose has already used the medic action, she is going to keep that, and Joe is going to have the crazed trait, which is fitting. So he automatically passes any horror check. And then he's going to take a walk. Double walk in here to activate the thrall, but not the boss vamp yet. I don't want that smoke just yet. And then we'll go do a threat check. Currently skill 4. So minimum of 5, because I have 5 heroes. Those are fails. 2 successes, which is going to be a noose tightening and an overture, where all of our lovely threat markers begin, which will reveal the vampire count, who is the master of this decrepit old abbey. In phase, we begin with the ones that are closest to the hero board edge, so that will be our thrall. Our thrall will swang at Joe. Minimum difficulty of 2. You got a 10. 10 for the skill check for the attack means that it is an automatic failure. He misses. Then we go to the count. The count will come from the shadows to try to snatch up Joe. And then as its fallback action, because it did not take an action during step 2 of its activation, it will attack Joe. 7 no less. Oh, misfortune. We got lucky. We got real lucky. Play then returns to moi. Where I really just need to focus right here on getting Joe out of that combat so that I can shoot at him. Focus real hard. It is a minimum of 7 because it goes off the highest skill of what you're engaged with. And I got 2 successes, so we can walk ourselves on out of there. Dorothy will adjust just a little bit so that she can get some line of sight. Take a shot at the count. Minimum 5. Misfortune. Even though I miss, the count will creep up on me. Also messed up the count already. I was supposed to move him. He was supposed to turn into a cloud of bats and move at the end of the villain phase. I'll remember it this time if I'm still around. I've also caught myself doing the threat check wrong because the threat check always has advantage. I don't know that that's been a huge issue yet, but definitely something that I have to remember. It's been a while. Blanche will focus and take a shot. Minimum 5, we do 1 damage. Vampire creeps. He's just outside of an inch from Sophia, which is perfect because I'm going to have Betty focus up a shot into his face. She misses. Creeps into Sophia. And I'm going to have Sophia just try to pummel the crap out of this dude. It's minimum 7. So best case scenario, my difficulty is 7. I do have 7 dice to hurl at it if I get a good difficulty. Or if I do well. Difficulty 7. We get 2 successes. Second swing. Also difficulty 7 with a couple of crits for a really good hit on that one. So we had our 5 that hit, and then 2 that missed became hits from the crit. So 7 damage, which is enough to slay the count. So when you kill a master, your threat level goes down by 2, I think. Our threat level is down to 4 right now. Which time we pass to the threat check. So we got a 6. 3 successes because of the crit. Horror checks for everybody except Joe because he crazy. So Sophia passes. Dorothy does not pass, so she'll be walking away. Rose does not pass, so she'll be walking away. Blanche passes. And there they sit after taking their walk. Sophia and Joe are the exact same distance from this guy, so I'm going to just even or odd. Even, he will go at Joe. Odd, so he will come for Sophia. And take a swing. 2 successes. We had to tighten the noose before he swung. So I've moved all those up. None of them are going to reveal at the moment. And then we can go back into me. And the overture played. Now I'm just going to lead off with Sophia, who is going to first attempt to parlay with this thing, because that's one of my objectives. Difficulty is equal to their starting wounds, or minimum difficulty is equal to their starting wounds. We succeed. So we get the parlay. That's going to help us when we get to the end of things. And then we're going to punch it in the face real freaking hard. Oh, I can reroll that one because I'm a professional. Also, not that I need it here, but because of my archetype professionals, I also have support within 4 inches. So I don't need it here because that's top shelf. best you can get. But it's good to know. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage, which is more than enough to zero out that fiend. Sophia's remaining action, she will call Dorothy over, I think. Let me measure. I meant to say Betty there, not Dorothy, but we'll call Betty over. Blanche focus and spot hidden on that last objective that we don't know what it is. I'm assuming it's probably a peril. Fail. Oh, Joe E will double move. He will move once and then take a shot at the item. No, I won't. It can only be targeted by hand-to-hand and dynamite. So I'll take a little bit of that second move to right there. Then I'm going to have Dorothy come up, trigger that bat swarm. So our bat swarm ambushes, and then we go to the threat check, which is currently at a 5. So it's a 5. We got 3 successes, which means a threat check for everybody except, or a horror check for everybody except Joe's crazy self. So Sophia passes. Dorothy, misfortunes. Rose passes. Blanche will run. It runs directly away towards the southwest. Dorothy, because she failed her check while engaged, gets knocked down. The bat swarm will then swarm her. They are only skill 3, but because she's knocked down, the bats get advantage. So that 2 will work because my minimum, it's against my skill, which is 2. These 1s luckily are fails. The 3 will hit, dealing 1 damage to Dorothy, and then the bat will flap away to a random hero. Will flap over to Sophia, which is kind of perfect. Now, crazy as it may sound, Sophia is going to attempt to parlay with the bats. Professional, and has friends within 4 inches, so she'll take that help for advantage. Thank goodness we do succeed, and we're gonna punch it real freaking hard. We have, I'm gonna remember can't get better than a 3, and that was the target. That's the minimum because that's their skill. I can re-roll the 1s because I'm a double professional. Let's move that. So the 2s are misses, but that's going to be 4, which is enough. The bat swarm only has 3 wounds. Sophia has 1 action remaining, which she will use to move towards the idol. Dorothy will stand up and move over to Rose. Blanche will double move, set herself in the middle. Joe's going to move over to the rock and attack it. It's a minimum difficulty 6. So that 3 becomes a 6. And then we got an 8 and a 9, both of which are hits. And the first time I successfully strike it, the threat level goes up by 2. Leaving just Rose, who will use both of her actions to heal the point of damage that's on Dorothy. And then we'll check threat. Big dice here. So it's going to be a 5. 4 actual successes, but 2 of them were crits, which will proc extra successes. So from the shadows, another bat swarm emerges, targeting Sophia. It's the hero model with the fewest friendlies, which would be Sophia or Joe. And then from there, it's the one who is closest to the heroic board edge, which is Sophia. So bats on Sophia. We then trigger the Crawling Chaos, which is a horror check for everybody except Joe's crazy self. Everybody passes except Blanche, so she takes a walk action 4 inches directly away from the bat swarm. Then the noose will tighten, and the threat level will go up by 1 as the threatening overture plays. As it stands right now, we are at threat level 8. The game will end if it hits 10. So we'll see how this goes. I really need to get Sophia onto the idol because she's the one who's going to be able to do the most damage to it, I think. 2 of the threat markers that moved in will reveal, giving us Perils. The first, 1,000 cuts. The second, unsteady underfoot. So the 1,000 cuts is one that stays in play, and if you activate within 6 of it, you have suffer a skill 3 attack. That's coming from the 8 up north. And then unsteady underfoot is pass a skill check when you finish a move within 6 of it, or be knocked down. And then our bat swarm will swing at Sophia. Minimum 4, so 2 successes. And at the end of the hero phase, it will flutter over to, or end of the villain phase, it will flutter over to Dorothy. So we'll start with Joe, since he's already in the zone. Suffers the curse of 1,000 cuts. Which misfortunes. Free to punch away at the idol. 1 hit. Second swing. No hits. Has 7 hit points remaining. Sophia has to take a skill check here to move because of the unsteady ground. I don't think this skill check gets the support because it's not an action that I'm taking. It's just something that the game is requiring me to do. So I don't think I get it there. But we're good. When I end the move, but 6 1 half dozen of the other. We're good. I now have 2 actions left with which to punch this idol with all my might. So I will get the advantage. The support. So minimum difficulty 6. I can re-roll that 1. Didn't help. 2 nope. 1 success. Wow, Sophia. Let's run that back. Better. Damage on that thing. It would have been a lot better if that first swing had gone better. But it's okay. We're going to go to Dorothy, who is going to punch bats. Skill 2, but I've got the advantage because I've got my friends with me. Advantage. Oh, no. Advantage be darned. We got a crit and a 9, so that's 3, which is exactly what I need to kill those bats. The rest of the crew are just going to stay put. They're just going to stay put and get ready to evacuate, because if I make it through this next threat/villain phase, I should be able to finish off the totem and then book it. So minimum 5. That is 7 successes, which will jump the 2 remaining unrevealed threat markers towards me. Remainings were 6 and 7. 6 is a creeping horror, which means disadvantage on non-skill attack checks within 6 of it. The other one is one that does not remain in play, but it is a skill 7 attack against Joe, and if it does 1 or more wounds, I get knocked down. So, yeah, it's going to do way more than 1 or 2 wounds, which is going to take Joe out. Okay, so I can't find it, but I'm pretty certain that when one of my teammates die within, I want to say it's 8 inches in line of sight, I got to make horror checks. Sophia, she's the one that genuinely matters here. She's good. Okay. Then the other girls. Dorothy. Good. Rose. Not good. And Blanche. Good. Sends Rose on back to the house. We'll spawn next to Blanche. And then we'll make some more horror checks. Sophia. Oh, boo. Okay, so she'll move away. Not a huge, I can move back. It just means I have 1 less swing. Dorothy. Good. And Blanche. Not good. She will fall down. Sophia, finishing her move away from the thing, she has to take a skill check to see if she falls down on the unsteady ground. She does. And this is what it looks like. There's no noose to tighten. Our overture will sound and our threat will go up to 9. And then our bat will swing at Blanche. with advantage because Blanche is knocked down. 2. It's going to be 4 damage. Whew. And then it's back to me. So Dorothy is going to move to try to hopefully not fall down and help Sophia stand up. I think she has her support here. We get her up. Clip. So first we got to see if Dorothy can stay on her feet. She can. Then we got to see if she can help Sophia up. She'll have her professional support here. She can. Sophia will then move herself back to the idol to try to finish breaking it down. First, we'll see if she falls down. She does not. Here since Joe's dead. Minimum 6, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's enough to blow up the idol. With her last action, she will head back down the street. Will stand up and then punch bats. She'll have advantage because she's got her friends with her. Her friends don't help her much here. And at that point, we would move to the threat check, which is no matter what else happens, it's going to go up to 10. So that will end the game. But because we're playing the full release version, we've got post-game to do. So my final grade was a B with 9 points. That netted me 3 XP on Sophia, 1 XP on Rose, none on Joe, 1 on Blanche, and then 2 on Dorothy because I selected her to be the star. Dorothy increases her skill to 3. Sophia increases her skill to 5 with an XP left over. Rose picks up the crazed trait by spending XP equal to the number of traits she currently had. So with 1 trait, it costs 1 to get a new one. And then there's a chart for the ones that you have access to. And Blanche got Brute. That was the one she was able to get access to. Sophia raised her skill. So bringing my total infamy to 6, which is not yet enough to affect the gameplay because that goes off multiples of 10. That's going to do it for our first game of new Perilous Tales. Thanks so much for tuning in, hanging out for a little bit. I hope you have an absolutely amazing rest of your day.